As secondary schools prepare to roll out new sexuality education curriculum next year, parents and experts believe lessons should be open yet structured for them to be effective. They also say new topics which include voyeurism and cyber flashing can be controversial and need to be handled with care. Tan Se-hui with more.
Talking about uncomfortable conversations, is there a right or wrong time for that?
Eton House International School engages parents regularly online over concerns about their children's well-being, and topics include sexuality education.
I'm a firm believer that sooner is better than later.
Okay.
The school's classes also discuss topics like consent, gender equality, and peer pressure. Role-play lends a touch of realism to the issues. Staff are trained to conduct such programs and potentially to deal with how students react to them.
The aim of the programs is to ensure that students are comfortable and confident to have these kind of discussions in a responsible kind of way, in a safe environment, and that's something that the students need for a life skill, not just in terms of sex education.
Public secondary schools will have new sexuality education curriculum from next year to include highly sensitive yet current themes like cyber flashing and voyeurism. CNA understands teachers are being encouraged to discuss rather than teach so that students get a good grasp of the issues. Schools are free to customize the lessons as long as the Education Ministry approves of them. While parents and experts welcome the new curriculum, which helps children become more savvy to the dangers posed by sex predators, some reservations remain.
The issue of human sexuality is one that is contentious. This means that it's often very difficult for educators to engage with their students in a very frank discussion.
It also depends on how they teach it. You see, if they know it too young, there may be kids that could think that, oh, this is something I never thought about. They may explore.
A social worker with experience in helping young victims and offenders says there must be ground rules for group settings to ensure students and teachers can engage each other in a safe environment. There should also be the option of more intimate settings for deeper sharing.
There needs to be a very trusting relationship between the educator and the student. They certainly cannot feel that they've been judged. Or for victims, if they are fallen prey to voyeurism or cyber flashing, there must be an outlet for them to share. Otherwise, it might lead to things like self-blame.
He adds that schools must not lose sight of teaching more fundamental moral values which govern the notions of sex and marriage. These, he said, would better guide discussions on specific topics.